Welcome, everyone. Today we'll be discussing how email templates can drive business expansion and help you gain a competitive edge without all the effort. Before we get into introductions, I want to take a quick moment to orient you to the Livestorm app interface. On the bottom right of your screen, you have options to interact with our live polls, questions, and chat. During the session, I'll do my best to address any questions as they come up, but rest assured we'll have time at the end for an active Q&A, and we'll make sure we get to everybody's questions. So getting started, I'm your host. My name is Jesse. I'm a sales engineer on the SDK Sales and Customer Success team. Joining me today are experts from our product and engineering teams, who I'll ask to introduce themselves. Francesca.
Thanks, Jesse. Hi, everyone. I'm Francesca. I'm a senior product marketing manager working on Beefree SDK. Thank you so much for making the time for us today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Roberto, and I'm a senior backend developer. Works among any other projects on the template catalog API. Thank you for having me and excited to be here.
So after today's session, we hope you take away a deeper understanding of the template catalog API and what it can do for your users. In the end, we want to make it actionable so you can follow a clear path forward and take advantage of these benefits in your business. As a bit of background about us, Beefree offers an email landing page and pop-up builder that people really love. Beefree SDK, the solution we are presenting here, enables SaaS applications to give their users a seamless content creation experience. The toolkit includes embeddable white label no-code builders for emails, landing pages, and pop-ups. Additionally, it provides a range of components, APIs, and support services to seamlessly integrate the content creation workflow into any application. We enable SaaS applications to go from proof of concept to production in days or weeks instead of years, with low maintenance costs, reliable technology that scales automatically, and is very secure. For the security-minded, safety is a top priority, and Beefree SDK is ISO 27001 certified. Now available in the SDK is a template catalog that was originally born in our hosted app with the help of 35 designers from 15 countries. After release, we moved the hosted app to a freemium strategy early last year, making our template catalog free to all users. By the end of the year, we celebrated milestones like passing 365,000 emails and landing pages created from a template in a single month. So what started as a small effort with a few designers has evolved into a workflow that's produced 1,600 high-performing templates for our Beefree users. However, a real problem emerged on the SDK side when our customers received static designs that didn't age well. As we developed new technology and design practices evolved, the templates weren't keeping up. Our design team would prepare template assets, and we would share static files appropriate for that point in time. When looking at how we can better use templates to support our SDK customers and in turn add value for your users, we first looked at how our own template catalog benefits our self-hosted product. One thing was clear: users prefer to start with a template. In fact, from our experience, about 64% of new designs begin from a template. And that's from a significant sample size of over 3 million emails and landing pages designed in Beefree over the past 12 months. We've also received a lot of feedback from users of our public catalog. A communications manager at a medium-sized business told us how templates made it easier to navigate brand changes. And a VP at a real estate company liked how collaborative it was for them to update their templates. This reminds me of the value of operating at scale. There's a strong business case to highlight where the toolkit makes it easy for you to charge your users for access to standard templates, allowing them to customize and save elements, thus operating at scale. By always having a robust and growing template catalog filled with seasonably appropriate or vertical distributed offerings, you can reduce the onboarding process for your customers. You can get them to experience value in your application faster, which leads to higher conversion and happier customers. Okay, so now that you've heard my sales pitch, let's talk with the experts and ask about the details regarding the template catalog. Francesca, is it okay for you to start from the top? I'd love to hear from you, and from a product perspective, how would you describe the template catalog API?
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks for this introduction. Very valuable. Okay, I'm going to answer this in a very straightforward way. So the template catalog API helps you create a personalized template catalog for emails or pages within your SaaS application. So by using the API, essentially, you can integrate a wide range of templates that we keep constantly up to date and inside your application. And we design template by the type of industry, by the type of usage, even seasonal events during the year, and so forth. So ultimately, by using this API, you'll be able to offer your end users a truly enhanced design experience within your own platform.
But why SDK customers? What were the challenges we wanted to solve for them?
Well, what we notice is that our SDK customers are always looking for new ways to promote user engagement within their platform. But if you think about it, if you do this on your own, then the challenges can be so many. In the case of the design templates, if you want to offer inspirational templates to your customers, to your end users, this means you have to invest time and resources into a full creative process. And you can do this with the internal or external designers. And then potentially you need to survey your end users to understand their current tastes, their current preferences, and so on. Then you need to invest in development to integrate the creative assets within your application. And then, of course, once you have done that, you also have to keep those assets up to date because design trends keep changing and so users' needs. So it's quite complicated if you want to do it on your own.
It does sound like a lot of work. Are you able to show us exactly what you're referring to?
Yeah, sure. Just let me share my screen. Okay, 1 second. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm showing you right now, this is our own implementation of the SDK API within our hosted app. And this is just an example of how you could leverage this template catalog within your application. But be mindful that you can actually customize the branding or the style according to your needs and to what you need to show within your application. So like I said, this is how we did it inside our hosted app. We provide some option at the top, some promotion option at the top. And then on the left side, then we have all our categories. The categories are so many because we can serve so many industries and usage and use cases. So for example, we have use cases here. We have email or pages templates for seasonal events, which are many. And then lastly, we have also templates for automations, for e-commerce, for example. And last but not least, industry. We serve so many industries, so really there is a template for every need. And then what you can do, okay, in the main area here, you will have your catalog, and this will show the templates to your users. And then we've also added an overlay here. And then by clicking edit, this will open the template that you've chosen inside the builder, and then you can start customizing it essentially. So like I said, this is just how we did it inside our hosted app by leveraging the SDK API. And this is just an example. And I wanted to show you this because it's pretty clear, it's pretty neat, and it works very well for us. But like I said, then Roberto will also show you what you can customize within this.
That's helpful. Thank you. So what exactly is the difference between the template catalog API and the free template catalog on Beefree that you just showed us?
Okay, so Beefree is a hosted app for designers or marketers, and it uses the same Beefree SDK toolkit available to our SaaS customers. So the template workflow on Beefree, which we've just seen, is powered by the Beefree SDK template API.
Got it. Okay. So one template library, it's regularly updated.
Yeah.
How are they updated?
The catalog will be updated with the latest trends by our design community at no extra charge. And then we're very committed to providing fresh new templates. And this happens every quarter. On a technical side, from a technical perspective, all templates are always designed using an up-to-date version of the SDK. So this means if there are new features, then the templates will integrate those new features as soon as they are released. And in addition, we have reprocessed many templates to convert discontinued features to the newest versions.
Very cool. Is there anything they need before they get started?
Yes, well, it's very simple. So in order to leverage this API, firstly, you need to be a Beefree SDK customer on a core plan or a higher plan. And then you have to you have to activate a yearly subscription through the SDK customer success team. Tyler, Kyle, Marina, or Leda are colleagues. So it's very, very simple. And right away, you will be able to leverage the API and to show this fantastic catalog to your end users. Now, talking about the catalog and implementation, now Roberto can actually show us what happens after the subscription is activated. So Roberto, can you please give us a demo of implementation?
Yes. Let me share my screen. Okay. Now, here we are in the Beefree SDK console. This is the detailed page for an application that I've built on purpose for this demo. So as a customer, you need to generate a content service API key like this one I'm highlighting now. And after the generation, reach out to your customer success manager and to activate it to complete the setup. They will guide you through the process and answer any question you have. Once you have the API activated, you can use it to send requests to the API endpoints. I will now show you some requests I've prepared for as example. You can find all the technical information going to our website developers.beefree.io and just click on resources and then on docs. Okay, so here on docs, and you have to scroll down until you find the content service API and template catalog API. Here you can find all the technical documentation. You can find a brief explanation on how to activate it, how to use the authorization header you need, the host name you need to send the request, all the parameters and the endpoint that you can use when calling the APIs. So just a moment that I will share another, I'm stopping this screen sharing. I'm now sharing another program. It's a simple GUI client where I can show you that, for example, this is the main endpoint of the API. The host name is api.getb.io, and this is the path catalog templates. In the header section, I need to fill the authorization header with the token I have generated in the developer console. And when I hit send, I get the response from the server. This is in JSON format. As you can see, we have a list of all the templates in the catalog. They are 1,600, more than 1,600. Here we have a list. The response is paginated. We have the detail for the templates, the main, all the main information about the template. I can also call the detail endpoint. So, for example, I put in the URL the slug of the templates, and when I hit send, I get the response of these specific templates. And in this detailed response, we have all the general information like before in the list, but we have also the HTML data, so the entire HTML that you can use to build the preview, and also the JSON format, that is the format that is used, as you know, by the editor. So this one, you can pass this JSON data to the editor to open the template and edit it inside the editor. We have an endpoint that lists all the categories that are present. We have another endpoint that lists all the collection. We have an endpoint to list all the designers, because each template is made by us one of our designers. And you can get also detail about a single designer. For example, now I'm calling the API, as you can see, for our Luana is a designer in Beefree, and we can have some brief description. We can have an image of Luana. We can have all the information we need. There's an endpoint to list all the tags present in the catalog. And the interesting things is that in the main endpoints, but in every endpoint, but specifically in the main is the place where these things is more useful, let's say. You can filter templates. You can filter by, for example, tag. I can call the endpoint templates, and here in the query string, I can say that I want to filter all the templates that have the luxury tag. And when I send the request, I see that we have 8 templates that have as the tag. I can filter for category, for example, here, same, the format is the same, just use the parameter category, and there's a category called welcome. And when I issue the request, I see that there are 22 templates in this category. And here is the list of all the templates. And I can also perform search. If I use the parameter search, I can then insert terms separated by comma. In this example, I'm searching for all the templates with the word Black Friday. When I hit send, I get back the response from the server, and we have 23 templates that has the words Black Friday in the description or in the body. Basically, these are the main endpoints, and as I told you, there's an entire page in the documentation that lists all the endpoints and all the parameters that you can use to filter templates. You can filter it by publication date, by categories, by tag, by a free search. There are really a lot of different ways to do it. Okay, I'll stop my screen sharing and get back. Okay.
Thank you, Roberto.
If you have any kind of question, I'm here.
Perfect. Thank you, Roberto. So we do have one question. I'll get to it in just one moment. But before I do, I want to spend 1 minute talking about pricing. But previously you promoted, and you still offer packs of 30 templates for $1,000 US delivered as static files serving a single purpose. The API offers much more value. A $2,000 annual subscription gives you complete access to our growing template catalog. So more than 1,600 templates for you and your users to choose from, which are growing in volume and expanding in purpose. Sign up for the yearly subscription, connect the API, and let's grow engagement together. All right, so we're on to the last chapter of our show, Q&A. We do have one question here from Devin. Is it possible for me to add templates to the catalog that only my account has access to? Roberto?
Not at the moment. At the moment, this API is read-only, let's say. It's our full catalog of templates, and they are in read-only, so we are in charge of updating and adding new templates. But I don't know, maybe we can ask our product manager if this feature would be interesting for the future, maybe. Not at the moment.
Thank you, Roberto. We'll definitely do that. We have some product folks on the call or the session today as well, so I'm sure we'll get in touch. Another question that's commonly asked is, are there other feature that was asked beforehand? Are there other features to the SDK that help enhance the template catalog API? Francesca?
Yes, actually, that's a great question. We get asked a lot. And the answer is yes. So we recently launched 2 new features that you can use and leverage to enhance the UX of templates. The first one is the multi-language templates feature, which essentially empowers your users to design customized experiences for international audiences. So your end users will be able to select one default language and up to 3 translations reflected in the top bar of their builder. So essentially, this feature helps you it provides you with the means to translate template content. And then lastly, we have a whole bunch of features revolving around AI, because AI is a key part of our strategy at Beefree. We created a dedicated product team for AI only. Early this year, we launched one integration with OpenAI. Your users essentially can write engaging copy, titles for their emails or pages in literally no time. And then we're constantly expanding and researching about new AI features. We're just about to release AI-powered alt text for images, so that you won't waste any time indexing all your images within your pages. And that's very helpful. It helps you save time, and the integration with OpenAI is very cool. It gives you some proper engaging copy for your copy, your paragraphs, and your images.
Very cool. Thank you so much. Does the host application get notified, or is there a trigger or search function as new templates are added to the catalog?
There's a search function, because if you look at the docs, one of the parameters you can use is allows you to filter by publication date, so you can have only the more recent templates and searching for the new, more recent template, and so you can build your logic around this feature. There's not a trigger on server side, but you can build it leveraging this feature.
What does CDN usage look like for hosting the template catalog API?
The CDN usage for the templates in the API are all the images are served by Beefree CDN, so there is no usage cost for this.
And to confirm, to obtain the 1600 plus templates is 2000. Yes, that is confirmed, Lisa. How do we create the new templates for our use and put them in our dev console application platform?
Is a question similar to the one we had before. At the moment, this template is read-only. This API, is read-only. Maybe one can build their own solution to integrate with the templates we serve from the template catalog API. An integrator, an host application can build a parallel solution. It's not that hard. Maybe it's not the easiest thing to do, but it's not that hard, I think. You require some development and some effort.
That is a wrap, folks. Thanks you so much for joining us today. We will be sending the replay along with some additional resources shortly. We hope you have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for spending time with us today.